Welcome to Pugging with Shintar Season 2. It's been a long time coming, and to be honest, the reason it took as long as it did for me to get started on this is mostly that I've been having a cold or a flu or something on and off for the last 2 months, and I could have recorded stuff in theory during that time, but I was always sneezing or coughing. To be honest, my voice still sounds a little bit rough right now, but it was much worse, so it was not a good time for me to record anything. But that doesn't mean I had forgotten about this project. It was just being delayed a bit. Yes, Pugette is back to pug things, but different things, because she's level 70 now, so participating in endgame. What do you do in endgame? Well, armor flashpoints, but you can also do those while leveling up, and I did quite a few while leveling up, so that's not really that interesting. What I haven't done while leveling Pugette were operations and uprisings, which are not even available until you're level 70. So we're going to look into pugging those. My current plan is to sort of alternate between doing an episode about operations and one about uprisings. Probably won't be having one every week because it's a bit more difficult than pugging flashpoints. I mean, the uprisings not so much, but operations definitely. So we'll just see when and how it best works out. I did mean to start with pugging Eternity Vault, which is the very first operation, but it's a bit awkward to do that through the group finder because it's not always up and I can only record on some days, so I would need it to be up just when I can record, which is apparently more difficult than I thought it would be, just having kept an eye on the available operations in the group finder. So we'll just start with Karagga's Palace, which is the operation of today, and is strictly speaking the second operation that was added to the game. But it's still a very newbie-friendly one, and only marginally more difficult than Eternity Vault. Now, how are we gonna go about this? Doing operations in a pickup group, you basically have two options, and both of them have their pros and cons. Option 1 is to go through the group finder, and option 2 is to be old-fashioned and do it in general chat. What the hell did I just do to my general chat tab? There we go. Yeah, like for example, you see here right now, someone is looking for 2 healers for KP, but only for the last boss. Now, what are the pros and cons of these options? Going through the group finder has the pro that you just press a button and then you can go off to do whatever you like and wait until the pop comes, and then you get teleported there, just like for when you do a flashpoint to the group finder. And the con is you are grouped with people who have done nothing but press a button and might not necessarily have the slightest clue what they just signed up for. Now, going through chat has the downside of requiring a bit more interaction, because obviously you need to be on the fleet, you can't just run around, you need to look at chat, and I avoid looking at general chat whenever I can. You need to whisper someone, they invite you, and so on and so forth. The upside is you have complete control over the process. You can always see how far along you are, whether you're close to having a full group or not. This is something you don't see in the group finder, because Photo's group finder gives you no indication of how long you're going to wait, how many people are signed up, nothing at all. So you you can go out and do something else, but it's a bit of a gamble. You don't really know what's going to happen. While when you whisper someone in chat, you know what you're going to get. And it doesn't necessarily mean a long wait. I mean, sometimes you sit there forever looking for that last tank and he doesn't appear. But it's in your control. You can decide at any point, no, I don't want to wait any longer. Sorry, I'm going. The big advantage that the chat method has is that you're only going to be grouped with people who read chat and are able to respond to simple instructions like whisper me for a group invite. And if you run group content regularly, it might seem strange to you that this is something worth mentioning, because doesn't everybody do that? But no, definitely not. So there is a lot of value in being in a group where there is a guarantee that people are actually willing to interact. As a sort of bonus, the people who form the groups in chat are generally more experienced with the content, because they know that they have better chances of getting a good group that way, so they prefer to do it that way, while new and clueless players are more likely to just press the button and be like, oh, let's see what happens. Now, I want to try both of these methods in this series, but I will start with the group finder one, just to show how it works. I did, in fact, already queue before I started recording this video, just not very long before, but just before then, because I expect it to take a while. I don't know for sure, but I have done it a few times, but I would say you have to expect at least half an hour. If you're lucky and you are the role that is shown as currently in need, which is the only indication the interface gives you of what's happening in terms of people queuing, then you can expect a shortish queue most of the time. But if you're any other role, you're basically guessing. So I'm expecting it to take a little while until it pops up and gives me a group. So to be honest, I'll probably go off and do some quests in the meantime. Otherwise, I'll just be seeing all these these chat invitations for groups and sort of want to kick myself for making it artificially difficult for myself for the sake of science. Obviously, I'll cut this stuff out for you in the final video, so don't you worry. As for what Pugette's been up to since the last time, not much, to be perfectly honest. I finished her class story on Coruscant, just so I would be able to get a ship and could make this icon stop flashing. But that's pretty much it. I also bought her a full set of 230 starter gear, and she has a few better pieces that were handed down from spares that my main Shintar got, who's obviously also a healing commando. Not that gear really matters for normal operations, because you get bolstered, so you can go into those even below the level cap, and it's perfectly fine. I've never seen anyone since the introduction of this bolster for operations. I've never seen anyone have any requirements for level or gear or anything. I have been in some runs where I invite someone and I'm like, hang on, this person has like 8,000 health, that can't be good. But then they walk into the operation and they get bolstered and everything's perfectly fine, so. Anyway, we'll see how long this queue stuff takes. I think I've been in the queue for about 10 minutes now. In the meantime, I guess I'll travel to Karagga for the trooper story or something. So we're at about the 1 hour mark now. I rescued Senator Krazul from Karagga and have been cruising around Taris, leveling those gathering crew skills that never saw much use during Pugette's time leveling through flashpoints. And unfortunately, I have no idea whether we're any closer to getting a group. Right now, it says that healer is the role in need, which is what I am, so we should only be missing one other healer, but I've seen that pop up several times in the past hour, and well, here I am still waiting. Somewhat infuriatingly, it showed DPS as the role in need several times, and I kept thinking, how can that be? How can we be short on DPS? But apparently that's the thing, so the wait continues.
Do you have any idea who these friends might be?
Available intelligence doesn't show any populations in
Ooh.
the lines of the transport
Oh my god.
system, but scans of the area have been
It's
cursory
happening.
at
No,
best.
I guess
Black
not.
ghouls infest the area, making scouting by foot inordinately difficult.
Oh! Here we go again. Is it gonna happen this time? I figured now was probably gonna be the most annoying time for it to pop, as I'm approaching the very end of the story on Taris and I'm in the last phase. But, you know, I can come back here, no problem. This is much more difficult. Currently been waiting for 1.5 hours, so I really want this to happen. Come on. Waiting for the last DPS, and oh my god, the suspense is killing me. This is where it turns out that this one guy has gone AFK. And it times out. Yep, he was AFK. At least there was another one in the queue. Let's see if everyone manages to hit OK this time. Oh god, this waiting for the timeout is worse than waiting for the cube warp. He came back. Right, slightly awkward thing here. Most operations have a story quest, which is outside the operation. So you pick it up, get the story, and then you go into the operation, do it. Karagga's Palace is an exception, and for some reason you have to go inside to do the talking, which is obviously super annoying in a pug group. Not to mention that it doesn't even put you in the right place at the beginning. So you have to go back up to the ship and talk to the droid there to get it done. I will do that really quickly and just spacebar through it, because people are waiting and I have seen it many times before. But if you're a new player, this can be a bit annoying. Right, if you're a new player and you want to see the stuff, my recommendation is to go in and do this at some point independent of when you're doing the operation, assuming you're doing it in a pug group. Because you just need to be in an ops group to be able to do the talky bit. So you could even ask in general chat to say if anyone minds grouping up with you for 5 minutes so you can do this quest. Anyway, let's see what we have in chat. We have hellos and fuck, anyone got a repair droid. Good start, good start. People are already pulling. But that's not bad. It means that likely the tanks maybe know what they're doing. Hopefully. What do we have here? Okay, level 67 Sentinel DPS. Level 70 Shadow Tank. Level 55 Guardian Tank. DPSO level 70. I have found in the past that if a group find a group struggles, it's actually most of the time simply from a lack of DPS, as weird as that may sound. Because the mechanics are really not that deadly most of the time. What kills most groups is just the even basic enrage. Yeah, did you know like Gage in Eternity Vault on story mode has an enrage? He does. I have seen it in a group finder group. Oh no! Someone is asking to change the... Ah! Okay. They did something I hate. They changed the basic group finder default layout, which has the tanks here, healers here, and DPS here, to having tanks here and healers here. I've actually got into arguments with people over that, because I like the default layout. It makes sense to have the tanks next to each other and basically your assigned tank nearest to you as a healer. But for some reason, people in Pugs insist that this is better. Okay, so ready check while I'm in the cutscene. Fine, whatever. So people think that this is better. I don't find it better, I find it annoying. I find it harder to... Because I am so used to having the tanks here. I'm finding it harder to keep track of who are the tanks if they put them in a different place. But it's just story mode, it won't matter. Who is group lead anyway? Kronos the DPS Vanguard. Interesting. Okay. I think they said it not that long ago, so that by default lead is supposed to go to the person with the highest command rank. Actually, I should be able to check that now, because since quite recently you can inspect a person to see their command rank. His command rank is indeed 300. Let's see if anyone else has this. Oh, this one is also 300. And in 248. So I don't know why Kronos was picked up instead. Okay, so this first boss, Bone Thrasher, is about as boring as a boss can get. Everyone just hits him. He can't even be tanked because his aggro is random. Oh, someone used their raid buff. I might as well do that. Oh dear. Yes, his aggro is random. He turns to people and stomps them into the ground. And he has a knockback that can send you flying into the acid that surrounds this arena. There's also one other way you can die, is after you get knocked into the ground, you get a debuff, which causes you to take increased damage from his big swipe. So if you manage to stand in front of him, just after you got the debuff, you can also die. I think a lot of people aren't even aware of this mechanic. I saw someone die to that in my guild not that long ago even. But at the same time, it's... you need to be exceptionally unlucky for it to happen, so even if you don't know the mechanic, there are generally few issues. Oh yeah, now he's all red and angry and does increase damage, but it won't really hurt. This is when there's a little ad that he eats. And again, in theory, the proper tactic is to kill the ad so he can't eat it and won't enrage. But it's story mode, so it doesn't even matter. So the level 70 tank is even in full 248 gear, so we are as over geared as for this as you could possibly get. Of course, this is not a guarantee that we'll be able to, that we'll have sufficient DPS, because the problem I find is not so much that people don't have gear, but that they have absolutely no clue about DPS rotation. And I mean, I sympathize. I don't play DPS as my main role on any character that I play a lot, and I appreciate that it's actually I find the rotations reasonably complicated. You may disagree, but basically when I started raiding back in World of Warcraft, I played a Shadow Priest, and at the time I had to use, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think about 5 abilities in my rotation, and everyone was like, wow, that is such a complicated rotation. Like the warlocks in my group, they literally just had to mash one button throughout the entire fight. But nowadays, people scoff at that. It's boring. It needs to have lots of buttons. So I'm honestly finding it difficult. I mean, even if I look up a guide, which class was it? Yeah, everyone always tells me that Commando DPS is extremely easy. By the way, I hope you don't mind me talking over the HUD talking, unless you speak Hurtese. What was I saying? Yes, Commando DPS, everyone says it's so easy, it's just one button, and then I looked up a rotation and it was like 7 different abilities in it, and I was like, what? This is the easy thing? And I guess you can do decent damage if you just hit one button, but to do good damage you still have to know more. Have I mentioned yet that this fight is quite boring? It's still taking us a good while. I didn't look at the time when we started. Well, I hope he doesn't enrage. Because he's the first boss. If he enrages, we're in trouble. It's the last boss that actually can give you a group's trouble. Because his enrage is quite... is tightish on hard mode. I don't think it's that bad on story mode, but still it's tougher than on the other bosses in the operation, so... Here he goes again, going all right and angry. 20% extra damage! Oh no! Oop, got knocked back a bit here. So you can easily see how someone could fall down there and die if they're too close to the edge. %. There we go. That's Bone Thresher. Should I even need on any of this? I think I will greed. Pass on that, greed on that. I mean, I'm really not here for the loot. I can get better hand-me-downs from Shintar, to be honest. Don't know about these people. For some of them it may well be like one of the few times they go to an operation and they really value the drops. I don't know. Not important to me, so I will roll greed. So if nobody wants it, I have a chance of getting a small upgrade. But if someone does, they can get it first. Up next, Womprats. I should really recast Trauma Probe on everyone. Hang on, I just realized if I took long enough that my buff ran out and I could have used it again. Yeah, that was a bit slow. Keep meaning to bioanalyze these because I'm a bioanalyzer on my main, but Pugette is everything else. She's archaeologist, scavenger, and slicer, but not bioanalyzer. Now next we have a sort of lift boss. Well, actually this one is not too bad. This goes up. But you could in theory fall under it. Right, here we go in and there's like some innocent people celebrating, being guests of the hut. Here, just tap master and like civilians. And they run away and cower, but probably get AoE'd down. Yep. Poor them. Oh, I can scavenge these droids. Well, if I'm quick enough, because they disappear very quickly. There, I got one! I feel like I'm a bit redundant, to be honest. So, if you're new to healing, don't be afraid of Pugging Karagga's Palace. It's not hard to heal at all on story mode. And I mean, this is not just because we're overgeared and all that. It's a fairly easy operation. Now we are at the second boss. Jag and Zono, the bounty hunter team, who have one of like my favorite operations quotes, saying, "Kill the little one. They're all little," which isn't as funny when I say it, but it's a cool thing. Oh wow! People are even talking about arranging interrupts, because yeah, well, that is about what there was there. What is there to this fight? It's you're supposed to kill them at roughly the same time, and because the surviving one enrages when one of them dies, and one of them also casts heals. I always forget which one. I'm guessing Sono. Yeah, Sono has this ability called Unload, which increases damage taken, and he has a heal. So ideally, you want to interrupt both, but if your group isn't that great, just interrupting the heal will do. This is probably the most damage-intensive fight in here. I mean, this is where you will have to do a bit of healing, depending on whether Unload gets interrupted or not.
My turn.
Good looking so far. Jag is on 90% and Sono on 72. Okay. Might want a bit of more DPS on Jag.
Focus on the little one. Which one's the little one? The little one.
Oh yeah, also Carbonizer Probe. This one comes down every now and then and stuns one of the tanks, so it needs to be killed. Free the tank. Okay, well, people are doing a bit of damage to Jag now while Sono is up in the air. It's good.
My turn.
Keep having to remind myself that the tanks are the two people at the top, because I never set up my UI that way.
Your turn.
Whoa, tank. Getting hit.
Time for plan B. What? I like plan C.
Oh, there's also
Plan
debuff
B?
you can cleanse. Not this one. I always forget which one is which.
After you. If you insist. Don't mention it.
Here's a Carbonizer Probe again. Oh. How are we looking? 70% on Jag, 24 on Sono. I really hope they focus on killing Jag some more soon before killing Sono. It's not looking too good at the current rate.
Your turn. My turn.
I mean, I haven't actually had to deal with the enrage in a very long time. So, well, here's the call. The ops leader is saying like switch to flame. I suppose it might not be as bad as I fear, but oh, my raid buff is up. I just won't use that. Flame, flame, flame. Yes, well.
Your turn. My turn. Ready, set, go.
So I think they intentionally let the heal go through so he could heal himself, but he's nearly dead anyway. Someone is still hitting him. Yep. There goes Sono, and we have 48% left to go on Jag. This is potentially going to hurt. But let's see. As I said, I haven't had to deal with that in a long time. I do think this is a prime example, though, of what I said earlier. Going through the group finder, you get people who don't listen to instructions, who don't read the chat. So even though our ops leader shouted flame like 3 times, people kept DPSing the other one. Well, I think it's taking a bit of a beating, but it looks like we're gonna be okay. He's nearly dead now. Someone leveled up! I think it was our tank, in fact. So that puts to 8.5.
To serve Karagga the Unyielding is the galaxy's greatest honor. New openings are now available.
Okay, off to some interesting trash. Because now we go to the courtyard. Well, actually, first we have to go through the trash with the poisoners. Ah, and even before that, we have what I was thinking of earlier when I said the lift boss. This is the actual lift boss. Don't attack me while cowering, stupid custodian. Either cower or attack, but not both. Right, because this looks like you should wait for a lift, but there isn't one. You have to jump down, and this takes a lot of your health. And if you jump badly, you will fall all the way at once and will die. Some people are now commenting on the lack of following instructions and saying, "Oh, I think we have some first-timers." The thing is, I have actually never seen anyone be mean to new people in an operation. I don't think people generally have a problem explaining things to new people who are new, especially since the tactics aren't that complicated, so it's not like it takes a lot of time. Whoa! Being eaten by womp rats. But what people don't like, experienced people that is when people don't admit that they're new and then they do silly things and die or get other people killed. That is annoying. I mean, fortunately nothing actually went wrong there, but I understand why it raised some eyebrows, so to speak. Oh, we have some evading womp rats here. Ah! Now they're jumping on me. To the tank! Oh, I just realized I didn't pop my command boost. I do have one right here. Might as well. Get some extra points. I mean, I don't particularly care to getting to rank 300. But, you know, have this boost lying around, why not use it? It was a free one. Why am I tanking the thing? Come around to the tanks again. Oh no! One of our tanks got womp rat fever. Often fatal infection of the skin. Health regeneration reduced 50%, fatal if untreated. I've never actually seen someone die to womp rat fever, but I've been told you can, in fact, just fall over dead at one point, if you have it. I think there is some sort of cure on Tatooine, but I've never got it myself. To me, womp rat fever is just this mythical thing that exists, but I have little experience with it myself. Okay, this trash bully is the nasty one, because it has this poisoner guy who puts a poison debuff on lots of people. What do I say? One poison debuff? Lots of poison debuffs. Also, he has like an amazing sort of shadow stride, and likes to step to whoever is at the very back, which is always funny if you have someone who's like lagging behind and still like 3 rooms in the back, and suddenly the poisoner appears on their head. Wow, so many poison debuffs.
graciously reminds guests that this area is not intended for visitors.
Now, for this courtyard, here we go. What we have to do here is hijack 3 cannons and use them to bring down the force field. The thing is, this courtyard is quite big, and you don't need to kill like even half of the mobs that patrol it. But the thing is, people are so in the habit of skipping stuff, it often goes wrong. So you try to skip, and then someone at the back pulls, and some of these mobs have a yank as well, so suddenly, like now, the entire group gets pulled onto one spot, and it can get quite chaotic. Also, these guys just hit hard. I mean, this was not an accidental pull, I don't think. We still took a lot of damage. Okay, so 1 DPS is off to the side here, trying to get that cannon. Well, I'll stick with the tanks.
Gracious host grows weary. All guests are advised to prepare for the conclusion
I see.
of these unrivaled
Ops leader is trying to, as I said, do the cannon hijacking without actually aggroing these guys. But it's a bit tricky. I'm waiting for someone else to run in and pull them. Or, you know, I could go and accidentally pull this guy instead. Didn't even know he was there. Oh well. At least there's only one guy. He seems to be able to do it. Yep, he has successfully hijacked the gun. Now we can move over to the next one. If we don't get stuck on random masonry.
Karagga is most amused.
Oh, nasty stun. Okay, that's cannon number 2.
The industry of the huts is unmatched in civilized space.
Okay, that's all 3 guns. Now to sneak towards the force field as it goes down. Here you can still see it. Now it's shot down. Now this mob at the door is also fun because he leaves poison on the floor, which is not very visible. People love to stand in it and build up huge debuff stacks. Like here you see all the melee taking stacks. And it's tricky because as a healer, obviously, your cleanse is a cooldown. So you cannot save everyone. Our first death! Whoa, and he's up to... Oh, so, okay, the other healer got those stacks. Wow, how long is it taking to kill this guy? Okay, well, we only had a couple of deaths. Right, this boss is, again, very simple. I mean, this was the second operation meant to teach people some simple mechanics. Basically, there are two mechanics to this guy. One is tank swap. Uh-oh. Did we pull without someone? Yep. One person got locked outside. Yes, this is another thing that this boss is supposed to teach you. Do not pull until everyone is really close to the boss. Because in this case, a force field rises and locks a person out. So, hard to say. Again, I feel like Obi-Wan watching Qui-Gon and all this. He says that's good. Anyway, the thing is, we should be fine doing this with 1 DPS down in theory, but our DPS didn't seem to be fantastically high, so maybe we'll hit the enrage with 1 DPS down. Who knows? Also, there is yelling. Yes, okay. This brings us to the one mechanic this fight has, which is a tank swap. As well, it's not even necessarily quite a tank swap, but the point is, he does a sort of enrage where people blow their cooldowns to survive. So you want to swap there if one tank is out of cooldown, so the next one can take his next frenzy, is what it's called. And also, he aggro resets every now and then. At which point he needs taunting back, which is why everyone is yelling, because nobody was taunting apparently. It's a bit confusing because yeah, one guy did say he was new. Also the boss is a cleave, so it's not clever to stand in front of him. Should we use the combat res on this guy? Oh, we can't. We've already used combat res. I must have missed that. Oh, of course, during the trash. When the one poisoner. Oh well, this is surprisingly messy. I mean, I'll keep at it, but I expect it will be a wipe. What I was saying was, yes, it's understandable to some extent that Eva here doesn't know what to do, because I think he said just earlier that he's new and not that experienced. But I would expect it. I've expected Guipago to know. I mean, he's the best gear, command rank 300. In a guild? Oh, I have aggro on the ads, nice. Oh, Obsidian's trying to help me here. Okay, they're swearing now. It's not rocket science. Oh dear, frayed nerves. This is confusing. Oh, he's a tank. Why is he standing? Why is he standing? Oh, I see the problem. One of the tanks, for some reason, keeps standing behind the boss. So when he taunts, he causes the boss to turn around and cleave all the DPS that is correctly standing behind the boss. That is very awkward. At the same time, I do not approve the name calling that is happening right now. Wow! I had forgotten all about how hard this boss can be. In fact, I don't think I've ever seen it be this hard in this way. I mean, what used to be challenging back in the day was that when he does his frenzy, he does quite a lot of damage, and when your gear isn't that great, then sometimes the tanks would die. But we never had any issues with the tanks not standing where they're supposed to or anything like that. Here's the frenzy, because now anyone standing in front is gonna die. At the same time, I feel some sympathy with the DPS if they don't know where to stand, if basically the tanks keep making the boss twitch left and right, so there is no right place to stand. Whoa! Have we hit the enrage already? Wow, at 40%. That isn't even. That's not the frenzy. That's the hard enrage. Well, I expected it to enrage, but not necessarily at 40%. Then again, it was very chaotic with what was going on with the tanks. Kudos to heals, though it didn't make it easy for them. Well, right. Let's try that again. A vote kick has been initiated. I don't know how I feel about this. Well, it seems my opinion didn't matter because the rest of the group voted. This, of course, this happens after I talk about how I've never seen anyone be mean to a new person. But then this is the guy who didn't say anything about being new and just been doing weird stuff, so yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't expect someone of Commander X300 with 248 gear and in a guild to be new to Karagga's palace and be unable to speak in chat or yeah. People are saying he taunted on rotation. I don't know. I didn't quite pay that much attention, but yes, that sounds problematic. Of course, that now means that we are a tank down. Though what, we have several people that are queued as also tank, or is that just... well... Where am I going? Going the wrong way. That's where I want to be. And yes, people are now discussing this whole thing with was it his first trade? Shouldn't be. Right, we are now down a tank. Though I think I saw someone else tick the tank box, so we're just down a person of either role, I suppose. Based on how long it took for this to pop, I'm a bit concerned about how long it's gonna take to get a replacement, though. Why does it say healer is the role in need when our group is missing a tank or DPS? Maybe there's another group that's missing a healer? I don't quite understand how this works. How did the group finder give us a third healer? No. Oh my god, good. Whew, it has changed icon. I was like, how? Why are there 3 healing icons? Now, is this guy a tank or a DPS? Because at the moment we only have 1 tank icon. Ah, the joys of pug confusion. Oh, I see. Ops leader has been inspecting this guy's achievements and saw that for him it's also the first time, but he has not said anything. Again, this is annoying. It's fine if people... It's not annoying that people have go in group finder for the first time. It's a bit annoying if they don't say anything. Because this is the guy that was standing in front of the boss and getting cleaved like there's no tomorrow. Yep, in fact the ops leader is now telling him to go stay behind the boss. Now, what are we waiting for? We're just waiting for X. Right, let's do this. Come on. We can do this. I mean, enrage at 40% was still worrying. But, I mean, it was really messy with 1 DPS down and the boss going all over the place. So hopefully if we can control the situation better, hopefully it will also go better. Okay, the new person is indeed a tank. Okay. Just the other healer appears to be AFK. Holy crap! I was just looking at our ops leader's achievements. He has a lot of achievements. Not quite 100%, but a lot. Okay, he has like very little in Starfighter, I guess. What? But everywhere else, he has a lot of them. Sorry, it was my crazy cat. Okay. Second healer is a crazy cat lady. Good to know, good to know. Alright, is everyone ready? Group is ready, everyone is inside the door. Except for the pet, doesn't count.
Places the highest priority on workplace safety.
Right, I expect our purely bolster tank will need some healing, especially when the frenzy comes, and we haven't explained the frenzy in any way, just assuming that it's perfectly healable these days, but we'll see about it, I guess. There comes the frenzy. It wasn't too bad. Add some deeps. Oh, thank God, someone's taunting the ads. For a moment I was like, crap, ads on my head. But no, I think our ops leader is actually taunting them. Oh, here comes Frenzy. It seems really short these days. I mostly seem to remember it lasting a bit longer than that. I mean, that seems like he's only hitting the tank a bit harder for a few seconds, literally. Well, boss is already at 50%, much faster than on that last attempt. Here comes Frenzy again. Also ads. Well, for a moment I was like, is he going red? Is he enraging already? But no, we're fine. We're fine. Here's the ads coming for me again. Boss is on 20%. Yep, we're getting there. 5, 4. Yes, we're doing this. We're doing this. It's fine. It only took about 4 minutes. Well, that's fine then. Yippies? Great, I guess. I love how the loot beam always comes out of his butt. I don't know. It's kind of childish, but it amuses me. Now the next trash is deadly. I'll stay on mark, please. Who is he? Oh, I see. They're trying to pull out of the room. This trash is... I don't know. Someone in my ops group recently said that whoever decided this trash doesn't like people, and that is quite a good way of describing it, I think. Basically, you need to kill this hunter creeper droid because it keeps summoning ads that A, hit very hard, and B, explode when they die. And it summons them like every 5 seconds or something. Ah. And on top of that, there are ads that heal it the entire time. And I don't know about story mode anymore, but I think on hard mode they're also immune to crowd control. So you get the situation where you want to nuke down the hunter creeper droid before it can summon too many ads. But it gets healed all the time. Did we survive? We survived somehow. Well. So yeah, the thing here is basically, if your DPS is sufficiently high, what you want to do is nuke the hunter creeper while maybe having like someone with interrupts on the healers. I guess line of sight pulling works too, sort of. Does the hunter creeper actually move? Yeah, it does. That surprises me. I mean, it doesn't entirely solve the problem, but I guess if you AoE everything, the healers can't keep up. I guess is the general idea. Something's gonna die. Seems to be working okay. Okay, we survived.
The great Karagga is pleased to demonstrate
Now here,
state-of-the-art workplace.
this is the infamous Towers of Hanoi boss, where you need to play Towers of Hanoi with these things, or rather you used to be able to damage him. But that was apparently too difficult, so on story mode they eventually changed it, so you don't need to do anything with this puzzle at all. You just need to press this button every so often, so fire descends on the boss. Also, this fire in the past, if it went on your head as a player, you died. Or took a lot of damage at least. And again, this was too hard, so they changed it on story mode, so it basically doesn't hurt. I don't think fire doesn't hurt is a very good lesson to teach people, but there you go. I will just put some probes on peeps. Probes on peeps. Sounds funny. I mean, I'm the healer, not DPS, but I can run back and forth, press the button, do a few heals. Okay, I shall just await the ready check. Fire! Right, okay, I need to sort of juggle healing. It's actually really good that I recently changed my settings to scroll out further, so I can stand here and heal, and I can just about see the panel. So the moment it lights up again, I can go back and hit it. Right, fire is back up. Oh yeah, also tanks should tank switch here because they get an armor debuff. But of course nobody mentioned that either, and we just expected to heal through it. Because story mode, I guess. A fear for our tank, yep, there he goes. Unsure whether I should combat res or not. Okay. Other healer is resing, so letting her do that. Oh yeah, I should also pop my raid buff. Next time after putting fire. Ooh, maybe heal this person first. He does take quite a lot of damage on full stacks though. I mean, being not max level. Just bolstered. But the boss is nearly dead. Right, another room of murder droids. That is actually literally what these summons are called, murder droids. It's a very appropriate name. Oh, here's another room. Are we gonna... What are we gonna do? Are we trying to pull them downstairs? I have no idea. Maybe this is where we wipe. I'm gonna step on this lift here. Okay, this is the weirdest way I've ever fought these guys. Going up and down on the lift with this murder droid friend of mine. I think I'll go in now. Somehow we made it. Okay. Cannot see target. I guess he's still on the lift somehow. All things considered, we're not doing too badly. I mean, we probably have to thank Cronus for that, because he's doing a good job ops leading. I found that generally, that is what makes or breaks many of these groups, is having at least one person who knows the tactics, who explains to people what they need to do. More than one, even better. I think at least Jetel, the DPS Guardian, is also experienced. So having people like that really helps a lot. Though obviously there are limitations, like I said, for example, if your DPS is really low, then the one person with good DPS might not be able to save you. This will be the real DPS check, by the way, Karagga. I don't even remember what his hard enrage is, but he has a soft enrage where you basically run out of space to move. In fact, this is gonna be interesting if this is our tank's first time here. I wonder if we're gonna wipe first while he figures out how the fight works, or if he will be able to get it right away. I like that I managed to get aggro on this guy. Yeah, my DPS is too amazing as a healer. Okay, last boss.
It is my singular pleasure to present, once again, my master, Grand Mogul of the Hutt Cartel, Supreme Power of Hutta, Unchallenged, All-Powerful, Karagga the Unyielding.
Chichofa, Chimpa no ia Makashisa.
Kind of funny when you think about it, that we basically, this early in the game, we go and kill the head of the Hutt Cartel at the time. Also, this is a pretty nice way of making a Hutt combat ready, I guess. because, well, how would the Hutt fight being a slug? So they put him in a giant robot. It's really, I cannot emphasize enough how nice it is to have another person doing the ops leading, because many times I've sort of fallen into the role automatically because nobody else did it, and I was like, well, someone has to explain to the new people how this works, so I guess it's going to be me. So this is actually, despite the wipes and everything, this is relatively relaxing for me because I don't have to do anything other than my job. The ops leader is looking after the newbies mostly, so. Explanations are boring when you already know the fight, but again, I'm glad we're doing it. Whoa! Fire on everyone! I'm not entirely sure what's going on here. Oh, I see. Our new tank is a bit twitchy because everyone told him avoid the fire, so he's running like, even though there was no fire. So yay, ads, mouse droids. Whoa, chaos. Well, on the plus side, he is not standing in fire. Just getting the fire on everyone else pretty much at the moment. Oh good, at least this time we got the mouse droids when they spawned. Whoa! Fire, fire, fire. Yeah, that pull is a debuff. Which, fun fact that I only learned myself recently, despite of having played this game for over 6 years. This debuff, when you're a commando, you can cleanse it without any negative effects, but if you cleanse it as a sage, you cause it to explode, which is annoying. I'm guessing it's a specific kind of debuff, like mental or whatever the types are called. So I'm making a point of cleansing it quickly before our sage gets any ideas and causes extra explosions. Well, things seem to have stabilized somewhat. Our newbie tank has caught on to the fact that he doesn't need to run around like a headless chicken. Boss isn't spraying his fire all over the place all the time, and mouse droids are being killed as they spawn, which is really all we need. I think Karagga's enrage is exactly 5 minutes, isn't it? Or maybe not exactly 5 minutes, but something around 5 minutes is what I seem to remember. So we have about 1.5 minutes left. So I think we are a bit behind, but it should be doable, is my estimate so far. Ooh, fire! Fire on the tank again! You can tell because his health plummets like a rock. But I think we stabilized him again. Damn, mouse droid got to me again. Okay, my raid buff is almost back up, so we must be nearing the enrage. %. Maybe it's 6 minutes. Just remember that there was something that would let you see. Maybe it's 5 minutes in hard mode. Anyway, I'm rambling. What I mean is, I seem to remember that the debuff you get from your raid buff somehow allowed me to estimate how much we had left until the enrage. 0%! Woohoo! Awesome. Oh, I might roll on the Terso Elite. Everyone needs to have one of those mounts. Whoa! Stay down, Karagga. We did it! Everyone is happy. Good times. Right, now I'm just gonna hand in my quest. And then that's it. I have been recording for 3 hours. That pretty much tells you why I don't think I will be making an episode of this every single week, because bloody hell. I didn't win any loot. But still, lots of level ups. Where was I? Oh yeah, I was in the middle of that quest on Taris. Well, I'm gonna go previous location and finish that quest, because I was right there. Then I'll finish the video. Yep. I don't want to have to fight my way back into the tunnel again. Well, after all that, I think you can see why I won't be recording more of these every single week. Because I am tired now. And it is, funnily enough, it is time for my guild's operation in 5 minutes. So I am ready for ops just after ops. Yay. But I will see you next time for some uprisings, which will hopefully be a bit easier for a change. At least in terms of wait time. Because the wait time did take up a lot of time today. So we learned a lesson. Group finder operations can work if you have good ops leader explaining the tactics and new people admit that they don't know stuff, so we can explain things to them. But that it takes a really long time if you're just queuing in the group finder, and it's not good if you don't have a lot of time. We'll see how whatever is the next operation that comes up will go. Is that picture Taris or something? I don't even show anymore. If so, that would be very appropriate. Anyway, I will see you next time.